Great day, students, and welcome to our Friday lab for this week. Ladies and gentlemen, all week we have been studying clouds and the water cycle in science. So let's do a quick review of the water cycle. Well, to do a review, I kind of need it behind me. So, all right, here we go. If you notice, it starts from the bottom, doesn't it? So we're going to start with collection. And then the sun heats up the collection and turns that liquid water into water vapor. And that water vapor rises up. That is called evaporation. Now, once that warm water vapor is rising, it needs a cold surface to stick to. So eventually it's going to find some cold air where it is going to condense. That process is called condensation. Now, once the cloud gets too filled with ice crystals and water droplets, it gets too heavy, well, that's when it starts to rain, snow, sleet, and that's called precipitation. Now, as precipitation falls, it runs off back to the collection and our cycle starts again. That's great, but it's one thing to see it on a picture. In today's lab, what I want to do is, well, I want to show you the water cycle and how it works. So, what we're going to do today is go through our scientific method. Then we're going to test out if we can recreate the water cycle. And at the end of the video, I have one that you can actually do at home. So, just like every experiment that we do, it starts with a question. And our question for today is, can we show how the water cycle works? My hypothesis is yes, because we have done the research all week. We've learned the songs. We've done the art. We've done all these things dealing with water cycle. We learned about clouds. We learned about precipitation. I think we're ready. The materials that I'm going to be using today, first things first, to make it bigger, I'm going to be using an aquarium. This is just like a 14-gallon aquarium. It's a small one, but we'll be able to see how the water cycle works. I'm going to be using a glass. I'm going to be using some hot water. So if you're doing this at home, you definitely need parent permission and parent help. I'm going to be using plastic wrap. You'll see why. And then the secret ingredient, I'm going to be using a bag of ice. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go see the experiment and let's work through the steps. So the first thing that we do is we get our aquarium all set up looking nice. We put our container in. This will be our collection for our water. Now, the next thing you're going to see me do is put some plastic wrap over the top because, ladies and gentlemen, we don't want the water vapor to escape. So if you notice, I am putting it along the sides here, and I will definitely be using a little bit of duct tape to attach it so it doesn't come loose. After we get the plastic wrap all set, we want to leave a little bit of opening because we still have to put our water into our collector. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to tape this side and then I'm going to begin to pour the water into the container. Now, the water that I'm using is from a heat source. It's actually from a coffee pot because we want the water to be heated when we put it into our container. The next thing I'm doing is I'm putting a piece of paper towel in there to capture any of the precipitation that might fall because of our water cycle experiment. So for this next part, you'll see me pouring hot water into a glass container. This is going to be our collection. And if you notice, it had steam coming off it the minute I put it in the cup. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna seal up the aquarium, trapping all of that water vapor inside of our container. And then after we're done that, we're gonna take a look at the effects of that hot water inside of our container. Oh, I almost forgot. We need a cold surface, don't we? So we're gonna put that cold air or that cold bag of ice on the top. And if you look, you can see that the aquarium is actually fogging up. Now, the reason why it's fogging up is because that glass is cold and that hot water vapor is looking for a cold surface. And one thing you don't see is the precipitation underneath the bag of ice, and the water is starting to drip. Now, we were able to do so much there. I think if I had more time and we left it all day, we could definitely see those water droplets fall. Were they heavy enough to fall yet? No, they weren't. But we did see collection, that was in the glass. We did see evaporation. We saw that all around the aquarium, didn't we? Why do you think it condensed around the aquarium? Well, maybe the aquarium was cold. That hot vapor is going to stick to that cold surface of the glass. And then at the very end, we saw how it condensed at the top and it was about to have precipitation. Now, if I had left that in, let's say for a week, would that water escape? No. The cycle would keep repeating forever. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a really cool experiment, but let's simplify it and make it easier for you to do at home. All you'll need to do it at home is, well, a plastic bag. Now, I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera because of all the filters and things like that, but all you need is a plastic bag and some water. Now, what we're going to do is, I've already, and once again, I don't know if you can see this, I've already decorated where I put collection at the bottom. I have the sun, because that's our energy source, isn't it? And I have a cloud there because, well, I just wanted to draw a cumulus cloud. You can decorate it however you want, but we gotta have that collection up there. And if we want to write in condensation, we can. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour some water in. Now, you don't want too much because too much will make the bag too heavy. So we really only wanna go to that collection line. So what we do is we pour it in. And I've seen some people do this experiment and they color the water. They make the water blue or they make the water green just to show it. All right, now I left a little air in there. Now, that's pretty easy, isn't it? Is anything gonna happen with this? Well, not if we leave it like this. So what we're gonna do is, well, you wanna put this someplace where we have an energy source. Well, where's the greatest energy source that we know? Give you a hint, right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it up in the window and we're gonna see how, well, we're gonna see how it progresses through the day and see if we can show the water cycle. Now, some experiments work, some experiments don't, but this one we know will work. Was our experiment a success? Yes, it was. And what can we show from this? Well, we can show the entire water cycle. So ladies and gentlemen, I encourage all of you to try the Ziploc bag, which I'm gonna send home with you today, experiment and see if you can replicate the water cycle. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a great weekend and I cannot wait to see each and every one of you on Monday.